Welcome to the Cash Considerations Podcast. Today is Friday, April 2nd. It is Good Friday. It is also Final Four weekend. And it is also Marvin Gaye's birthday. If he were alive today, we got to shout him out. He would have been 81 today. So we got to welcome him, you, and the boys to this episode of Cash Considerations. Carl, at Carl Haskell is here. Carl, what's going on?
What's going on?
Oh, to Marvin. Nobody said it better.
I was slow on the trigger there, but that's there you go. There you go.
And that's the producer and other co-host of the show, Newbie Talks at Newbie Talks. Newbie, what's up, brother?
Happy to be here, man. Always best part of the week. Cash considerations time.
That's it, man. We got a Friday night show. You got the beer. You got the man bun. You got the Eagles shirt on. Carl, for those of you at Carl Haskell, you can't see him because we still don't have the YouTube thing because our boy Sean, the man up at the at the top with all the controls, not you, Alvarez. We'll get to you later. It's the other Sean. You can't see Carl, but he has redone the entire home studio up in Wayne Manor, up in Boston. And my God, it looks like the Hall of Fame right outside of Fenway. It's a fantastic job, Carl. Looks great.
Thanks, man. I think I'm going to actually tweet a picture out of it tomorrow.
That's what you need to do.
It came out great. Yep.
Yes.
Very happy.
I am Dave Sherapin, the sportsbook consigliere, consig, all that other shit. It's at SportsBK Consig. There's a couple vowels in there. There's a couple missing, but it's all right there on Twitter. The show is at Cash Consid Show. All right, boys, this is the show. And tonight we're going to recap the Sweet 16, recap our laying and taking. We'll gloss over that one real fast. Then we're going to preview the Final Four. In case you hadn't heard, there's two big games, and listening to the show either late Friday night, early Saturday, you got to get those plays because we're going to play some laying or taking on sides and totals there. Then we're going to talk baseball. Like it's baseball season. It is here. It started. This is day 2 of 162, and we got sides. We got season wins, division winners, predictions, things like that. What else would baseball talk be without talk of what do you have at a baseball game when you go sit and watch a baseball game? You have hot dogs, and we have to have that addressed because what do you put on a hot dog is a very important part of attending a baseball game. So we got food guys, we got beer guys, and we got hot dog guys, and we're going to talk about that. We're definitely going to mention hockey. There's been a few developments going on. So our pulling the goalie segment will still be around. The NBA, there's only one thing we can mention. Well, actually, no, there's a bunch, and we're going to mention that as well. We have a kind of personal things. Like there's 3 of us here, but on Mount Rushmore, there's 4 people's faces. We're going to probably mention Mount Rushmore and who you would put on your personal Mount Rushmore of sports from the city that you live in. We're going to discuss it from there. So everyone, all of our listeners, shout out Atlanta, ATL, Cleveland, and Columbus, Ohio. I don't know what happened, how you found us, but keep on listening and keep spreading the word, what's going on there. And goddamn, Colorado. Those are our 3 biggest markets. Denver, Centennial, Colorado, and there's one other city, Lakewood or something that keeps popping up. We appreciate you guys listening. Thank you to all of you. And then at the end, you know what we're going to do. We always do our due. We take a minute, and the boys keep coming up with you. If nothing else, you got to fast forward to the take a minute segment at the beginning before you go back and listen. So that's the format of the show. Let's just get it started. Oh, did I do that again? This is how we get it started. Did Marvin sing that song? Let's get it started. No, let's get it on. What's going on? I don't remember. I got them all written down here on the notes. You guys saw the notes. It's basketball. Like, all right, we got the Final Four. I'll go to you first, Noobs, before but okay, I'll say it. Recap the later take segment
There we
from the
go.
last episode.
That's where we got to start. Let's start there.
All
Carl,
right.
go ahead. You got the numbers. You're the Batman of the group. I know you got the numbers. What were the numbers, Carl? How'd everybody do?
Well, let's see. Let's work from the bottom up. So, the consig would have. He probably would have blamed his youngest daughter for these
hell
picks,
no.
but I know she wasn't there during the show. We've got video evidence that she wasn't there making the picks. But last week in laying and taking, Dave went 3-5. I don't think that's very,
baby.
Yeah, I don't know how profitable you're going to be at 3-5, but
Not good.
coming up next, 2 games ahead of Dave is Newbie at 5-3.
Ooh,
not bad.
It's not
I
bad.
don't know nothing about college basketball either. That's not bad.
I mean, I feel like I gain ground a little bit once the tournament actually starts taking shape, but 62
shape.
Either ship shape. It's ship shape it up. But 62 and a half 62.5%. So I'm above that 62. That's all you need to be. That's all you need.
There you go.
Great.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
And then that only leaves one person, and that was me going 6-2. And I will take 6-2 any day, especially in college basketball, where I know slightly less than Newbie does. I'll take the 6-2 for the Elite Eight last week.
It's hard to do.
Yeah.
So, all right, Mr. 6-2, what is your takeaway from the Sweet 16? Like, did you watch the games? And what was your one or two moments where you're like, damn, this is really fun to watch, or boy, I really nailed the shit out of that game?
Yeah, when last week I said I must have picked my bracket in 1983 because I was going with UCLA, and here we are, and I'm going to be looking at UCLA in a game here tomorrow night, and it's shocking to me that they're playing. So I think that was the biggest thing I took away. Everybody was surprised. Nobody expects an 11 seed to make it to the Final Four. And then obviously the other two things is since the beginning of the season, it's been Gonzaga and Baylor that everyone's been talking about anyway. So a real surprise that those two teams are there as well.
Noobs, we talked about it last week on WEEU. We talked about it on the show last week. We looked at the numbers. We looked at the games. You watched the games. I mean, did you have a flag football game last week?
No, I was actually calling the state championship game. Reading High Red Knights state champions, baby.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm talking about. I was the good luck charm. I mean, it's my first year doing the play-by-play stuff. Get to call 2 state championship games. One of them win the state. So, I'm not saying it's me, but I'm basically saying it's me. So no flag football last week. So it was all basketball for me, man. And what a great slate of games. I mean, I know that, sure, there was some of those blowouts, but still, the way that we got to the blowouts, like, sure, Baylor ends up covering against Nova, but that was a great game, too. That really, yeah. Baylor, you saw a couple maybe different chinks in the armor there, but then they end up being Baylor, as Carl, has them winning the whole entire thing. He just has to keep on winning. Those fucking guys in New England, man. But main takeaway for me, and I think it was probably the takeaway for anyone, even with Baylor looking great, who the hell is beating the Zags, man? And also, they are maybe, and I know prisoner of the moment, all that, they might be one of the best basketball teams, like, ever, because they do everything the right way. They're so fun to watch. Like, if you're a coach, you put on Gonzaga and you say, this is how you play basketball. You know what I mean? Like, they're a just incredible basketball team. So if you're even a peripheral basketball fan, watching Gonzaga this year has just been an absolute treat. And they've only gotten better as this tournament has gone on, which is almost crazy to say.
Yep. That was my takeaway. I got to really watch that game against USC. And, you kind of saw what USC was doing early. They, Mobley popped the kid right in the chin and, said, all right, we're going to play a little bit of street basketball. The kid goes to the sideline. You know what Fuse says? How's your tooth? Check your tooth. Okay. Get back in there. Let's run them out the building. Let's run them out the building. And they kept making that extra pass. And Timmy started doing a thing with the stash and flexing his arm.
That's awesome.
Saying, hey, we're here. We're going to keep coming at you. You thought we were going to shoot threes. We're worried about you 2 trees inside. We're coming right at you. And that lead got away. I was watching that game in-game. And there was no point. I was on the show on Sirius XM 204 and Sports Grid, and I kept saying 18 and a half, 19 and a half. And the guys were like, would you take it? Would you take it? I'm like, hell no. They're winning this game by 20. I am not interested in USC until we get to 20. And that was the way you play basketball. That was the one first takeaway for me. The other one was UCLA's route to get there included that game against Alabama, in which they were up 3 with 2 seconds left, did not foul. The kid makes the 3-pointer from 38 feet for Alabama, and now you got the dog ticket with UCLA, and you know what happens because this is the newbie mush. You know you're done. As a dog going to overtime, you're toast. Listen, they beat Michigan State in overtime. They ain't beating Bama in overtime. I'm dead. I'm just hoping to cover. No, they kicked Alabama's ass in overtime. Wow. Holy shit. UCLA team's good. Then they go play Michigan. And that was like watching Hoosiers, but not the good Hoosiers, like the bad teams. 51 to fucking 49. That was the final score. Oh my Lord. Like I was watching that in game, and that total closed 135, immediately got moved to 125, then went to 118, 116. It closed 101. I didn't see one number during the game that it went over. So, man, it's just one of those things that, like, there was a couple really good games, a couple really good stories. Zhu Zhang, I'm going to say that name forever just because it's fun. I say Fennis Dembo all the time as a guy that, made an impact on me. I can't wait to see Zhu Zhang tomorrow when he plays. I hope he scores a few times, but I think, man, we'll get to that here in a second. But I'll tell you what, it's been a fun tournament so far up to this point. I just I don't know what to make of the games, so I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. Let's just get to it in order of the games. First game, Saturday, 2:14 Pacific start, 5:14 East Coast time, is Baylor -5, totals 135. Now, this is interesting. For the first time in this little bracket challenge that we did at WEEU, that Kendall is going to win, by the way. My 7-year-old Kendall is going to beat both of you when Gonzaga wins it all. I told her there had to be one thing. You had to make sure Gonzaga was your champion, and that still stands. So, laying or taking, I was down. But when it comes to the end, I'm going to be behind all the way, and then I got to pay Kendall $20 because she told me if I win, I got to get paid. She knows. That's what happens. I'll go to you first, Noobs, because you got the Cougs in the bracket. You have Houston to win it all. Are you laying or taking 5 in the game?
See, I feel like I want to do the whole anti-newbie mush thing, but
oh boy,
but at the same time, like, I wish that this number was closer, like 6.5, because like the thing that I hate about like a 5 in basketball is you get down to the fouls at the end of the game and you're covering the whole entire game, and then boom, you're fucked. So I want to take Houston. I think that there's a potential if Giroux just goes the hell off that they could actually beat Baylor. I think they could win this game outright. But
is that Al Giroux?
Yeah, exactly. It's
What's
Marvin
going
Gaye.
on?
They're related. Yeah, they're related. But that's the thing is with this number, like just playing numbers, because that's what you have to do sometimes, and especially when you're like me and you like college basketball but you don't know dick about it, you got to go by the numbers. And 5 in college basketball in a Final Four, it says take Baylor. So I'm gonna take Baylor in this one. It's not anti-newbie mush. It's just that's what the number's telling me to do on this one.
Now, you shook the anti-newbie mush with the not taking Villanova for all the people listening to the show, back home in the neighborhood, and all the people listening in Pennsylvania. Brother Dan is listening to the show now in Philadelphia. I gave him the birthday shout out last week. He's 49 and he's listening to the Cash Consideration show. So, we got people in Pennsylvania listening too. I know we got people listed in Boston, Carl. I know we got people listed in someplace in Laconia, New Hampshire. These other little New Hampshire places keep popping up now, which is good. Don't get me wrong. But you got Baylor winning it all. You said it at the beginning. You've said it before. You saying it now. Are you laying or taking Baylor -5?
Like Newbie said, I hate 5, man. It's
Brutal,
like I hate.
isn't it?
It's like I hate 3 during football season. I hate 5 during basketball season. If this was 5.5 or 4.5, I would, feel better either way. And I still don't know who I like. I like Baylor to win. Obviously, I have them in the bracket. And by the way, I left out when I gave the results of our bracket that Newbie's girlfriend is beating you in the challenge as well. So I wanted to make sure you were
She's
aware.
hot. Shane, I don't mean hot like Newbie. She's hot.
Hey, that's Newbie's girlfriend. Hey,
we're all a family here.
No, we're fam. Everybody's fan. But like, she's been picking the games pretty good. Her
She
bracket
actually
looks
has
pretty
been.
good.
Yeah. Other than picking the Jayhawks to win it all, I still haven't let her live that down. Well, the bird was cute. Well, your bracket's fucking ass now because the bird was cute. So congratulations.
So anyway, I don't honestly. Baylor's going to win the game because I have them winning it all. So I have to go there. I haven't been mushing anyone.
No.
So I'm gonna take Baylor. I'm gonna lay the 5, I guess, because if I want them to win it all, I guess I want them to win this one by more than 5.
Right. All right. I am going to make it all of us a unanimous decision.
Boo.
I really think I'm nervous. 5 is the bookmaker's number that we go, make it 5 and see what they do. Well, the book's made it 5, but it ain't moved. So this is one of those sweet spots. You're like, did we get this one right? Or does everyone really not know what to do? So depending on the book, you don't have to move it. And depending on the game, you're getting equal action both sides. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. So I think that's what's happened. Now, the total in this game is 135. I'll reverse it. We'll swing it back this way. This game's going under, but all the games have been going under. There's been so many games that have been played, and I should have looked this up before the show, but I was doing a fucking 100 other things. How many of the games have gone under this tournament? It's been a very successful tournament for the books because the games have been going under. And I sound like a broken record, but I like the under in this game. I think both teams play really good defense, team defense. Houston has very limited scoring. Baylor has a lot more options. They shoot the 3. They're the best shooting team. Thanks. This is to B. Howe, Brad Howe 07, my basketball guy who we do the show with on the Game Within the Game. Baylor's the number 1 three-point shooting team in the country. Houston's the number 1 3-point defense in the country. Immovable object, immeasurable force, whatever that expression is. I think Baylor prevails. It's going to be ugly, though. It's going to be tough. So I'm going under. So I am on Baylor -5. I'm going under 135. Carl, you are second here. What are you thinking in this game, total-wise?
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Might even be under 130. I mean, it's not going to be –
right.
I don't see a lot of points being scored in this game. So, yeah, definitely under.
Noobs?
Well, even
Mush?
if
What do you got?
well, I'm sorry, I'm mushing you guys. I'm under on this one too. But so book it, right. Go Houston and over like crazy.
And over.
But the thing is even if you factor out like take out of it the defense and the defensive statistics that bolster the play so much, just look at the pace of play for the team that Baylor's playing. Like Houston isn't going to be pushing it against anybody. They way prefer those kind of grinded out, slow down, half court games. And that's going to be tough for them to do against Baylor. So I think that this one's going under. I also think in the whole entire tournament, most of these games that have been played in Lucas Oil Stadium have gone under. It's just when you're playing in a football stadium and the sight lines are so much different. That was something going into the tournament that I heard a lot of people, or not a lot of people, but the smart people talking about and pointing out that playing in a football stadium is different, and it's even different than playing in an arena. So I think that's probably adding into why these things have been going under. But last thing really on this game, I think Baylor covers this number and they cover it strong, or Houston wins outright. I don't really see a situation where like Houston falls in that number. So I think Baylor is going to be going around unless they stop being able to shoot. I see them really kind of cruise into a victory in this one unless Houston can make things tough for them, and they do once they get in that half court actually be high selection on those shots. But I want to see it happening because I would love if the Cougars were able to do it for me, but I don't see how it happens personally.
All right, well, yeah, pretty much punch your ticket. Houston probably wins in a rout. 200 points scored.
You're welcome.
And, yep, there you go.
Mushed myself,
Ruby
baby.
has done it.
Yes.
Well, listen,
Genius,
you
genius,
can't
genius.
even do it. You can't do it this time.
I can't.
Play the drop again. I was talking.
Oh, I got you.
Genius, genius, genius.
Little deeds. Little deeds.
You can't push this next team. You can't do it. You ain't got the power in you to make UCLA beat Gonzaga. There ain't no way in hell. It'll be, listen, I said this earlier too this week on one of the shows that I did, either with Gabe or Cam or Kevin and Donnie. I can't remember. This would be maybe the biggest upset in Final Four that I can remember. Like I was young, but Villanova beating Georgetown was huge. But Villanova was in the Big East and was really, they had a great season. So that wasn't, I don't know if that's the level. NC State, what they did against Houston, that was big. If UCLA beats the Zags outright, it will be a tremendous story. One of the biggest stories, upsets in a long time. It ain't no way in hell it's happening. It's just not. And plus, as a sports fan, I want to see the Zags get to the last game.
Mm-hmm.
The number is 14. The total's 145. Carl, you're first right now. Well, no, actually, you know what? We're going to swing it back. We're going to let Newbie go first because we're going to see what he says on the side. Are you laying or taking with this 14-point spread news?
It's so high for a reason, right? It's making you say,
Yeah.
I can't be laying this in a Final Four game. But
Right.
then you watch Gonzaga play, and you're like, fuck, I think I'm going to lay this in a Final Four game. I'll do it. I'll lay the 14. Like, I want UCLA to have the amazing story. I love seeing the dude they show in the crowd every single time. I don't know if that's somebody's, dad or he's just
That's Mick Cronin's dad.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a lifetime basketball coach, and he's up in the stands.
Gotcha.
Talking. Yeah.
So
it's a great story.
I love that part of it, but the Zags, they're a fucking buzzsaw, man. They're just rolling through competition. Like I said, they're only getting better, and also the whole Cinderella part of UCLA, like, I get it. It's an amazing story and the upsets, but this isn't like a Cinderella story in my opinion. Like their coach is getting paid what, couple $1 million. They get recruits all the time. So this isn't like Loyola Chicago the first time that they were doing it or anything
Right.
like that. So it's a fun story, but I'm ready for the story to come to an end because I want to see the Zags play for a championship because they're just so fun to watch.
I had our buddy Sean, who's going to be a big part of the show moving forward. Him and I had a discussion, and he said Gonzaga is an underdog. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? How is Gonzaga an underdog? He's like, it's a small Jesuit school in Eastern Washington. He said, how are they doing this? How are they beating all these blue bloods? That's actually a pretty good take. I was like, wow. But they've been good now for a while. They figured it out. We're going to be a basketball school. We got a great coach. We got kids that'll stay. We get, kids that want to be here, whatever, they buy in. So, it can happen, but the story's incredible. They could be one of the undefeated teams of all time. And they're up in this Eastern Washington. Like, it's crazy, but I'm laying it too. The number for me to go, all right, I would entertain UCLA is 15. Until you give me 15, and maybe it's just an odd number, like maybe it's 16. but it needs to be more than it is until it's not enough.
I mean,
So,
how crazy is that? They're laying 2 touchdowns, and I'm right there with you. Like, that's not enough to get me interested in the other side, even though I always love playing a dog, and who doesn't like a double-digit dog? But, you know, I'm right there with you. I mean, it's that wild that they're laying 2 touchdowns in a Final Four game, and it's still hard to get me interested in UCLA.
Unless Zhu Zhang really lights it up, UCLA has to play a perfect game offensively, perfect game defensively, and the Zags have to have an off night. That's the only way I see it. Carl, you get to go last here. I know it's a 14-point spread, and I know you haven't made any football references yet, but are you laying or taking in this game? Gonzaga minus 14.
Well, the way I see it is in the winter and in the spring, there has to be at least one Bruins team that's playing well. And right now, it's not the team in Boston. So I'm actually going to take the points here.
Yes.
I don't think they're going to win the game, but I think that they can stay close enough to be within a couple of touchdowns that I think 14 is enough for me. So I'm gonna take.
That's what you have to do, and I don't know if that's going to happen. When this show drops later tonight, you'll be listening to this show anywhere from Australia to UK to the United States to, all over the place. By the time this game tips, this line is probably not going to be 14. I'm going to guess it's going to go up briefly, but as what happened with Gonzaga so far in this tournament, the money has come against them right before the game, all 3 games. Not the first game. That number was absurd. But the last 3 games. The UCLA line plummeted from 9 to 8 the hour before the game. So bad guys, they've been on them, against them. Sharp guys, the rhombuses, the parallelograms, everybody. On the day of the game, the hour or 2 before, the books have moved the number. So I don't know which way to tell you to wait or not wait. But I know this, I'm going to be watching the game, and I hope you guys are too, because it's going to be fun to watch. And I think it sets up perfectly for that bet that our boys Mo Pearson at Heat These Takes and Alan Berg at Percent Berg put up at WinBet. Would you take Gonzaga undefeated? You could have got like 10 to 1 back in the day. Would you take the Zags and Baylor versus the field? That price was like minus 110 or pick them or even money when it came out. You could end up with that thing. So, like, I want to see that thing. I want to see the Zags play Baylor because I think Baylor can give them a game and cement the Zags' legacy that they win it. So, with all that said, I got 145 for the total in the Baylor or in the Zags game. I am going, believe it or not, I'm going under again. I don't think the Zags are going to score, or I think the Zags will score 80. I don't think that we're going to get 60 from UCLA. If it's a blowout, 80 to 60 final, that's 140, less than 145. Noobs, over or under 145 in this game?
I hate it because, like, I actually, I always like saying I'll book the action and, like, fading what the public convention is, what you're feeling, what other people are feeling. But I'm with you. Like, I think.
You're booking me now?
No, I'm saying whenever we do this lay and take, and that I always like saying I'll book you on this one. Like, it started way back in football season. But that's what I'm saying is I don't. With UCLA, their only hope in this game is to slow the Zags down, and the Zags are going to score. And they're going to score, and they're going to score even if you try and slow that pace down. So I just don't see how, UCLA is going to be able to light their offense up enough to get over a higher number like 145, given what we've already seen in this tournament, given that it's been a dead under tournament. I think that number is high because that spread's high. You know what I mean? That 14 points, how could you put that up and not have people, but like if that over-under was more like 130, 132, 135, and you had them laying 14, there would be a hell of a lot more people going to rush and play it on UCLA. So I think this is an under game through and through. I think it's been an under tournament. I think under 145, that number's high, and I think it's just because of like public convention thinking it should be high.
Carl, you picked UCLA to win. I'm thinking if UCLA wins, the game has to stay under. Or if UCLA even keeps it close, like the game has to stay under. I don't see any other.
Yep.
I think that's a, dog and under, favorite and over is a correlated parlay. Not in every sport, but in a lot of sports. Do you like over or under? I saw you pointing to the sky.
Yeah, and
like
then I did
over
the math
in this game. Okay.
No, no. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. No, I have to like under, right? Because like you said,
You like
I need
the dog,
and under.
Yeah.
And the implied score is 80 to 66. I don't see that happening.
That's
right.
It.
I don't see that happening. So yeah, it's got to be under.
Okay.
Probably closer to, I don't know, 132, 136, somewhere in that number.
Yeah.
Right.
No, and that's the way, and listen, we talk about what the show is, and this is the show and things like that. Like, that's the show. We're talking it out, and you did the numbers, and you're like, okay. So, but we're not preaching picks. That's
thanks. Good plug by
Carl. That's show. Talk it out 3 to 6 Monday through Friday. WEEU.
Look at that plug,
professional drop right
I'm
there.
Talking
baby.
about. Checks in the mail, Carl. Hell yeah.
But that's good stuff. So, all right, I guess the three of us, I have the Zags winning it all. Newbie has Houston Cougars winning it all. And Carl has the Baylor Bears winning it all. So we don't need to give a pick for that because you picked it in the brackets. That's what we have. So those are our final four winners. Laying and taking. Wrap it up. Tie it in a bow.
Means right? UCLA is going to win it all.
Greatest story ever.
I put a little future on them, so there's no way they are. So sorry, UCLA. Sorry. One of us is winning.
Like that. Yeah, we got to start the segment like that. Now we know. He slid that in, too, right at the end. All right, so before we get to the baseball stuff, I want to mention that actually I will be at the Westgate ideally tomorrow at some point with the Book It HQ people. And to get ready for March Madness by downloading the Book It Sports app, a social media platform catered just for the sports betting community. You no longer need to scroll past the content you don't want to see on other platforms. On Book It, you can follow your friends and see their bets, track your own action, purchase expert picks, post your own content, and get all the news and updates of the games you're betting on. College hoops is full of twists and turns and unexpected upsets. Not Saturday night. Sports bettors want to know who's cashing in along the ride. Your bets, your content, your community. Download Book It Sports on the Apple and Google Play Store and make your college basketball picks now. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to see them. Liv Moods will be there. Trent, Nick, David, all the boys. Should be interesting. Should be a lot of fun. If you're in town, come by the Westgate. I don't know which VIP booth they have, but they have it, and I'll be there wearing my bright ass orange/pink shoes. Somewhere you'll have it. See me there, along with a hat. I will have a hat on. I always have a hat on. All right, fellas. Speaking of hats, baseball season is here, and we got our little baseball preview for the listeners new to the show. He's at Newbie Talks. Carl Haskell is at Carl Haskell, Hascall. I am the Sportsbook Consigliere, which is at SportsBK Consig, and the show is at Cash Consid Show on Twitter. You're from Philly. You're from Boston. I'm from Pittsburgh. So we're going to give our three teams over-under season wins and maybe a comment or two from there. I'll start. Pittsburgh Pirates are 1-0, leading the NL Central. Holy shit, it's April 2nd, and we're the division leaders. I don't know how much longer I'm going to get to say that, so I'm going to say it maybe 10 more times in this segment. The division-leading Pittsburgh Pirates raised the Jolly Roger the first night of the season. Chicago, also big listeners of the show. Cubs went down. B-Hal, I didn't know you were a Cubs fan. I got you. I see you now. Cubs 0-1, Pirates 1-0. Pirates season wins 58.5. We got one already. I can't do it. I got to say, I want to say under so bad, but I can't do it. I think the Pirates are going to win 62, 63 games. That's more than 58.5. We're going over. A little bit exciting. We got one win. If we can get out of April close to 500, look out. We may actually get to 70. I don't think they got a shot at winning the division, obviously. The pitching's bad. Enough of that. Let's go to the next number in sequence. The Boston Red Sox. For the first time in such a long time, their total is 79 or 78.5, which means, Carl, you would be betting whether the Red Sox are going to be 500. Yes or no? 81 and 81. Are you going over or under 78? Let's call it 79 for the show. 79 wins, Boston Red Sox. Mr. Boston, he's right there. Wheaties boxes with Larry Bird. I see all the Patriots. I don't see no Red Sox stuff, though. I don't see it.
It's out of the frame. It's over here.
It's
over here. Here we go.
Okay.
The
All right.
2004 World Champions.
Oh, that's nice. Holding up a Wheaties box with David Ortiz, Big Poppy.
Got a 17-year-old box of Wheaties over here.
Yeah. Can't wait to open that up along with that cigar someday. We'll eat the Wheaties and smoke the cigar, but what are you doing with this season win total? You going over or under?
So, I didn't work today. I didn't work my real job today. I had a day off.
That's good.
And I watched the Red Sox today for the first time in a year. I didn't watch any Red Sox last year because I couldn't take the empty stadiums and the team they put together, and so I watched them today. And I don't know what you guys saw about this game, but Sox started off the game with Kike Hernandez with a base hit, leadoff hitter, opening day, great way to start the day off.
Just like Willie Mays Hayes.
Exactly. And then 2 batters later, he got picked off at first base.
Just like Willie Mays Hayes.
And then they proceeded to get a guy on base in the 3rd inning on a throw-in error by the third baseman.
Oh, boy.
And they didn't get another guy on base until J.D. Martinez doubled with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. They were no hit from the first batter until the next to last batter in this game.
Oh. Was Trevor Bauer pitching?
Yeah, I think he was. Trevor. No, it wasn't Trevor Bauer pitching.
Were they playing the Yankees?
No, they were playing the one team that's picked to finish behind the Red Sox this year. The
Baltimore
Orioles.
Baltimore Orioles.
Oofa.
Unbelievable. So they suffered a 1-0 loss today, and you got to watch it.
Let me guess. 3-0. But yeah.
Oh, final score 3-0. Okay.
3-0. Yeah. They're already a game and a half out of first place. Tampa Bay's 2-0. So they're already a game and a half out of first place. And I hate to say it here, but on April 2nd, this is as close as they're going to be to first place all year long. This team sucks. They suck. They don't have any pitching. They don't have any hitting. They've got a great manager. I'm a big Alex Cora fan. But that's about where it ends. They've got a good 3, 4, 5 in Devers and Bogarts and Martinez. But that's it. This team's terrible. So I would pick them under – I'd probably pick them under –
Alternate total?
Yeah, alternate total. I'd go under 72 with this team. Yeah, I could really see them losing 90 games this year.
Oh,
They're
my
bad.
God.
And that's not easy for him to say. Like, that has to hurt to say, Carl.
It hurts. But it's true. It's bringing me back to my youth. Today, I watched a lousy team with a bunch of empty seats. It was just like the early 70s and 80s when I remember watching the games, when you could walk up and sit behind the plate. This team is bad. They're very bad. And to make it worse, LeBron James is part owner of the team. How could it get any worse?
I mean, that's perfect, right?
Yeah.
Like, because LeBron's a big Boston guy, and Boston likes LeBron, so it's a perfect natural fit. Yeah, it's perfect.
It's perfect.
I can't wait to see him wear the Boston Red Sox hat.
Oil and vinegar. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I actually agree with you. Our boy Adam Burke at Skating Tripods, his baseball preview is outstanding. Our other guy who we're going to have back on the show, who we had on the show last year, Joe Sheehan, a tremendous baseball writer,
Great show.
Big follower of the show. Joe, he's still mad USC lost the basketball game. He was all excited that USC was in it, and he said, "Bite me" on Twitter when I posted how much I was loving the Zags winning. And I said, Joe, USC's a football school. So, Joe, USC's still a fucking football school. But the basketball team is pretty good. I'll give you that. Anyhow, his baseball preview is amazing, and you guys should sign up for his newsletter. It's so good. But those are two respected baseball minds who say the Red Sox are going to have a down year. So Carl's thinking right. I agree. Noobs, you got the Eagles stuff on. I mean, we're going to get to the song and the Sixers here shortly.
Oh, yes, we will.
The Phillies, like Harper, the Spikes.
Oh, I'm so glad you saw him.
Oh, my God. I mean, like, please. The kids, the Kinsig kids, Kylie, Kelsey, and Kendall, they're big fans of the Harper shoes, everything he does. We're personal friends with, not with Bryce, but with Brennan Stott, who's Bryson Stott's up-and-coming shortstop. He's going to play in the big leagues. We got pictures with him, all this stuff. They play video games together. So we're big Philly fans. The kids have become Philly fans.
Smart kids. I mean, they're geniuses.
Somehow you got us on the Sixers. All right. And now we've already been on the Phillies. Norm's tried for 30 years, try to get me like Philadelphia teams. I couldn't do it. Brother Dan lives in Philly. He don't like him, although he's a Philly fan. He won't say it. Are you going over 80.5 was the number I have. Is that a correct number? 80.5?
Yep. 80.5, 81. You can get it 81.5 at some spots here in PA because they know people still bet over it.
Yeah, they jacked it up, of course. Yeah, because, well, I mean, like, tell me why you're doing what you're doing. You going over or under, and why?
Well, forget 80, the number that it's sitting at, 81 and whatever. I mean, they won a game. I'll go over 161. They're going 162-0, baby. We're right on track, man. No, I'm just messing with you, but I do think this year. Now here's the thing. I know it was just opening day, and I know, and you guys know from listening to the pod that sometimes I can be a little bit prisoner of the moment. However, the fact
don't talk about yourself like that.
The fact that the bullpen went in early game one after Nola gave up a 2-run homer, and Nola's our guy, Nola's our ace, I love the guy, and the bullpen didn't completely fuck it up. I know it's just one game, but that makes people in Philadelphia so happy because we have a nickname for Hector Neris. We call him Hector Nervous because anytime he trots on out there, you're starting to sweat that lead's going to fucking disappear. So the fact that he actually went in there, I mean, it took Didi Gregorius making a Larry Fitzgerald catch to even get them to potentially win this game. But regardless, it was just fun watching baseball again. And honestly, last year in the shortened season, I could count on maybe one hand how many times I had fun watching that team just completely frustrate me. 81 means basically 500. Do they go 500? I think this is the year that they find. I mean, it's been a decade. It's been 10 long years that they have not been in the playoffs. And I think that they're going to make the playoffs this year. So to make the playoffs, you probably have to go over 500. So just naturally, I'm going over. And also, Ariel Epstein, the prop queen.
Yeah.
She put out a video saying the Phillies are making the playoffs. I'm taking that to the bank. Ariel's the bomb, man. So I think they go over 81 because I just think they make the playoffs. I have a feeling that this year is going to be the year. I don't know if they're going to do anything in the playoffs, but Bryce Harper's shoes, that's the reason why I'm picking over 81. As long as he keeps rocking the shoes, keeps rocking the man bun, I got to go with my long-haired friend there, Bryce Harper and the Phillies over 81 wins.
You kind of look like Bryce Harper.
That's the vibe I've been trying to curate. Thank you for saying that. I've really been. You should have seen.
Really strong.
So yesterday, I'll have to send you. I'll put it out on Twitter so people can see the picture. Right. Yesterday, I was rocking. I had the Bryce Harper shirt. He has like a Pulp Fiction shirt where it's the Philly Fanatic and Gritty, like holding hot dog cannons. So I had that. Wow. The Bryce Harper jersey, and then the Philly Fanatics Bryce Harper headband. I got probably a good 2 compliments, which is a high number of compliments for me.
Over. I was going to say the number was 1.5.
Yeah, exactly. So I was rocking the whole Bryce Harper vibe. So you saying I have a Bryce Harper vibe going on, honestly, I could shed one single tear. Thank you.
I need the picture sent to me.
I already
have the tweet planned.
I got you.
It's already in my head going.
You.
I'm fucking distracted from the show because I can't wait to go the next level with that picture. Listen, I tweeted a picture of me and Ariel over the weekend. She was here in town.
Yep.
She survived, thank goodness, because she went out with Sammy P, who I did not see because I was up coaching. And then I saw her on Friday. Sammy didn't get in until Friday night. I was up in Bullhead City in Laughlin doing my thing up there, which I'll get to at the end of the show. But she went out with John Murray, Kelly Stewart,
Yep.
Sammy P, and her. And now
That's a
Ariel, first time in Vegas, she got VIP treatment. She
Of
got
course.
steak dinner. She's had a Cabana at Stadium swim and then finished it with a VIP booth at the Westgate and then flew home. That was a VIP trip.
Well,
Like,
she's the
that
fucking
was an
prop
MVP
queen.
trip.
She's the prop queen. That's what I mean. You roll out the red carpet for the prop queen.
This is what's going to happen when you guys come, just so you know. We're a little bit older, so I don't know if we're going to be able to roll like that the whole time, but we're going to get all the hookups. So, that's the way you need to experience Vegas. For those of you that come, reach out. I know some people. We might be able to hook some things up. The other thing we got to hook up right now is division winner playoff World Series. I'll go through mine real quick without explanation. Yankees in the East. I think Tampa Bay is going to be right there. I'm not buying anything about Toronto. Brooklyn Joe, that's for you, you Yankee fan motherfucker. I know they're good. I know they're going to win. Central, I'm going with Minnesota. Sorry, Chicago White Sox fans. I think we regress. Pitching doesn't get you there. The lineup will, but they're missing a big key. West, it's Houston or Oakland. Flip a coin. I like Oakland a little bit better, but Houston could win it. In the NL, I got Atlanta. Sorry, noobs. Sorry, the rest of you. I want to see Philly make the playoffs. I think they will. I hope they do. The Mets, the lineup still stinks. I know Lindor's there. He got the bag. You want to talk about a guy getting the bag? He got the bag, baby. But he ain't getting to the playoffs. Sorry, not happening. Central, St. Louis for me. Milwaukee, closely there behind them or beating them. Cubs, it won't be. Reds, it won't be. And the Pirates, it 100% will not be. West, chalk, Dodgers. Padres going to be right there. I'm going to watch every one of those games back and forth because they are going to battle. So that's my division winners. We'll save the pennant in the World Series. Go through yours fast. Carl, what do you got?
All right, I'll go through mine real fast. AL East is going to be the MFYs. The Central is going to be the Twins because I cannot see Tony La Russa staying awake for 162 games. I'm going to go with the Angels in the West. Yes, and this is why. Mike Trout has won 3 Most Valuable Player awards. He has played in 3 playoff games. There's something wrong there. It's time for Mike Trout to get into the playoffs. National League, I'm with you with the Braves. That's a shout out to our guy Alvarez. So Alvarez, when you do your recap tomorrow, make sure you say that I said the Braves are going to win the NL East.
Yep.
The Central, I am going to go with the Brewers because the Cardinals are kind of the National League Yankees to me.
True.
So I have to go against them. So I'm going with the Brewers in the Central. And then in the West, I'm going with my heart, and I'm going with the anti-Dodgers. I am going to go with San Diego.
Okay.
Because I think San Diego's come a long way the last couple of years, and this could be the year. Every year it seems like there's one team that comes out of nowhere and jumps into the playoffs and makes a big run and then disappears for 5 or 6 years, and that could be the Padres this year.
Do you like Don Orsillo?
I love Don. Actually, I scribbled it out. I scribbled it out here. I said on my notes that I'm picking the Padres because they have the best announcer in baseball.
He's fantastic. I have the Padres games here. He is the absolute best. It's one of my favorite things of having the Padres. The late, great Dick Enberg was the play-by-play guy at the end of his career for the Padres. And he was losing a little bit. And then I used to like watching the Red Sox games because of Orsillo. Orsillo's doing the Padres games now. He is amazing. One of the best. The best newbie, NL, AL. Start with the AL. Give me your division winners from the East to West. I know you're thinking about it. You got your hand over your face. Like you heard what we said. You have your shot right now. Go.
I mean, you guys laid it out there pretty nicely, and I definitely defer to you guys on the baseball side of things. But I did put down some notes. I'm going Tampa Bay Rays again. Not really much reasoning for any of these. So don't ever.
Nobody gives a shit about.
Don't ever take the baseball stuff to the bank for me. I think AL Central probably. I'm gonna go Fuck it, I'll go White Sox because who cares?
There you go.
Why not? I'll do it for you, Dave.
Yeah.
Astros because they got the trash cans, plenty of them to bang on over there. Phillies in the NL East, it's no brainer. I mean, Braves already beat them.
Are you worried about mushing it?
Yeah.
Mush the Braves?
I mean, I should.
Too late, he mushed them.
I should, but it's already out there. And Bryce's shoes, I can't get them out of my head. So I mean, Brewers. Love beer. That's the reasoning there. NL West, Padres. I always wanted to get to the ballpark. Padres ballpark looks like a beautiful place to see a game. So I always like to be out there. So that's my reasoning. And honestly, lock it up. I mean, that's locks right there.
That's the Padres ballpark. Petco Park was the center of our summer vacation every year. We would center it around the Pirates trip out west. Nice. And we would go to Petco Park. Kelsey has an unbelievable story. She caught a foul ball off a 94-mile-an-hour fastball from A.J. Burnett to Yonder Alonso. Hit her in the cheek. It made a noise like this. I missed it. It touched my thumb. To this day, I thank God every day she has no repercussions from it. It was an absolute miracle. I met the Padres president that day. They took us to the hospital. They made sure we were okay. And thank God we got the VIP treatment after that. So that was a really good story. Our wrap up on our baseball preview is going to be this, and I'm going to throw it to Carl for this.
Probably the most important part of the baseball preview.
It is. So how do you want to go with this? This is your segment. Take it away for what we're going to talk about.
So I got a little segue between baseball and the Elite Eight we were talking about a little while ago. So I've got a little hot dog conversation here. We went back and forth a little bit earlier in the week about how onions belong on hot dogs, and it started this whole argument back and forth between the three of us. And
it almost broke up the crew. Yeah, it almost broke up the crew. It got so contentious.
It was almost, hot dogs might be the Yoko Ono of the Cash Consideration show. So, we've got a little bit of digression here to get into a little bit of hot dog talk. So, first of all, I've got to say, personally, for me, there's only two ways to eat a hot dog. You're sitting in a stadium or a ballpark, or you're getting it off the grill. If you're getting a hot dog any other location other than those two places, you're doing it wrong. So what I want to throw out to you guys is I've got my Elite Eight hot dog toppings here, and I'm going to play Laying or Taken with these Elite Eight hot dog toppings. But disclaimer, I'm taking off the table right away. Ketchup, yellow mustard, relish.
Ouch.
If you put any of those things on a hot dog, and you're old enough to ride a school bus, then you're wrong.
I like the ketchup. I'll be honest with you. I'm not gonna douse it in it, but it's a nice little change up.
No.
But I also put ketchup on my cheesesteak. So that tells you everything you need to know.
Ketchup
about me.
is a PA thing. Like in Pittsburgh, Heinz 57, you put ketchup on pretty much everything. You kind of grow up and your grandmother makes you put ketchup on your eggs.
They literally pour fucking Heinz into the stadium when they score fucking touchdowns. It's obligatory.
So ketchup's a tough one for me because I like ketchup sometimes. I'll mix ketchup and mustard. Obviously dark mustard. Yellow mustard is definitely a never, no. Like not even in desperation. You just don't do it. But ketchup. What else are you taking off the list?
Yellow mustard.
Absolutely.
Plain old
I'm fine with
never.
That. I'm fine with
that. Right. And what else?
I took relish off, but I could be tucked into relish. I actually have pickles on here separately, so I guess
relish,
they kind of go hand in hand.
Okay, relish is
I can take it or leave
What
it.
about chili? Is
no.
chili?
I just took those three off the board.
Okay,
we'll get to chili. Hold on a second.
I like that.
All right, here's our Elite.
Yep.
We'll go around the table. Laying or taken. Ready?
All right.
First item, barbecue sauce on a hot dog. Newbie, taking it or leaving it?
Fuck no. Yeah, I mean, forget. I mean, if you forget putting ketchup on a hot dog, if you're putting barbecue sauce on a hot dog, get a fucking straitjacket. That is insanity.
And so, what is this? Leave it or eat it? Is this
leave it or eat it?
Leave it or eat it.
Okay. All right. I'm fucking leaving it. You can have it.
Fuck?
I don't like fucking barbecue sauce pretty much on anything unless it's really like ribs or some shit.
Wings.
Definitely ain't putting on no hot dog. Leave it.
All right. I will tell you that I will brush the barbecue sauce on the hot dog on the grill while it's being cooked so it caramelizes nice on the dog. But taking it out of the bottle and putting it on the hot dog, absolutely not.
Fucking Batman. Unbelievable.
Brushing the hot dogs. That's the Carl Haskell difference. I'm going to brush the hot dogs to caramelize it. A walking thesaurus.
That's right. All right. Dave, we'll go to you on this one since you brought it up. Chili. Does chili go on a hot dog?
Absolutely not. Chili is its own thing. It goes in a bowl, and it's a separate thing. Leave it. That's for somebody else. I don't want chili on the dog.
Newbie?
I mean, dogs are already messy as they are, and you're going to throw chili on top of it. I'm right there with you. I love chili. I mean, chili
Love
with
it.
a little
Oh.
cheddar cheese in there. I'll go to town on that. Not on a hot dog, and don't even get me started on the psychopaths in Cincinnati. I'm sure they're great people. Hot dog on fucking spaghetti. That's for a whole nother
They
show.
listen to the show.
I know.
They like that
I'm
chili.
not, I mean, for them, enjoy your skyline. Less
Right.
for me. I'll eat mine in a bowl. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm with you. No chili on a hot dog. Absolutely not. But hand in hand with chili, cheese on a hot dog. Cheese dogs. Newbie. Yes or no?
It has to be a natural casing hot dog that's cooked on the grill, gets that real nice crispiness, because if not, it's just a texture thing. You can't just have gooey cheese on a slimy dog at the ballpark. Forget about it. Cheddar cheese, though, sprinkled on top of a crispy natural casing. I could do it every now and then. I'm not putting it on my hot dog. It's not a mainstay for me, but I'd eat it. I'm not leaving that one.
Leave it. That's for some like pepper jack cheese. I might even explore a possibility, but I don't know if I've ever had cheese on a hot dog up to this point, and I'm 50. I don't think I'm ready to start. Leave it.
Yep. The only way, and here I go again, but the only way I do this is when I'm cooking on the grill and I've got the dogs on the grill already, and I go in the kitchen and realize there's no buns. Then I'll grab a piece of cheddar or a piece of provolone, and I'll wrap the hot dog up in cheese, and I'll eat it that way.
He's fucking
That's the only way to
MacGyver.
do it.
He's fucking MacGyver of the fucking roast and hot dogs. I can't wait to come to fucking Haskell Manor and have this fucking guy make some grill shit. That's outstanding. Who would have even thought of
The
that?
MacGyver of hot dogs.
We could talk about this when the show is over, but the Phillies are coming to Fenway the weekend after 4th of July this year.
Oh, shit.
Just throwing that out
Put
there.
it in the notes.
Oh.
Put it in
my
the book.
God.
All right, next. That's 3. Let's go to the next one real quick. Jalapenos on a hot dog, yes or no? Newbie.
It's another one that, like, with the cheese, I'm not going to do it all the time, but if somebody's like, hey, you want to try this jalapeno cheddar dog? I'm going to fuck that shit up. So I'll take that, but I'm not running to put jalapenos on the dog.
All right.
I love jalapenos. Eat it, baby. Load them
That's
up.
right.
I've done it before at the hockey games, at the baseball games. If there's jalapenos in there, listen, I've done it with the gas station hot dogs because it's the only thing there. I've had to have a gas station hot dog. Listen, I ain't always been a consig. You know what I'm saying? You could get 2 hot dogs for 99 cents, and that was good. So that was a quick meal, in and out, loaded with jalapenos. Eat it.
Absolutely. Anytime, put jalapenos on anything, man.
Anything.
Always eat it. Always
Yeah.
eat the jalapenos. All right. Next, and this one's tough for me because I get a little gag reflex and a little bit of like the acid come up
shit.
in my chest. So you know where I'm taking this one or laying this one. Sauerkraut. Ugh, just even saying it.
What?
Sauerkraut. It doesn't even sound like it should be a food.
Does he know who he's talking to?
I mean,
Does
where
he know where we're from in
PA
Pennsylvania?
born and bred, baby. You come out of the womb and they don't give you a bottle. They put sauerkraut in your fucking mouth up in Pittsburgh,
What
man.
the are you kidding me? Sauerkraut is double eat it. Like you
No.
load that shit up. You can't even see the dog. What you amount of sauerkraut that you put on a dog. Like at the South Point, they got a hot dog cart next to the sports book. It's one of the most famous hot dog carts in Vegas. $1.25 a dog. If you don't get the kraut, the lady looks at like you don't want the sauerkraut. So, man, I love it. Absolutely eat it and give me more on the side to make sure I finish to clean me out when I'm completely done with the dog.
I eat all my sauerkraut on New Year's Day. I'm not putting it on the dog. I'm leaving the kraut. I know we're supposed to love them, Dave. I know.
Okay.
I'll turn in my Pennsylvania card. I'm not putting it on the dog.
Okay, fair enough.
And for the record, I've never even tried sauerkraut. All right, pickles. Pickles. Will you put pickles? And I'm not talking about the relish that comes at the Heinz relish that's, 49 cents in the 7-gallon jug. I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about an actual pickle, a whole pickle on a hot dog. Newbie. Yes
do
or
you
no?
put wait, Carl, do you put pickles on a hot dog?
We'll get to that. We'll get.
Okay. All right. No. You're running the show. That's
When we-
it.
I like
It's your segment.
At the end of the segment, I'm going to ask you guys how you would make your ideal hot dog and what toppings it would look like. So we'll get to my thing with the pickles. Newbie, what do you think about the pickles?
I honestly, I wouldn't be. So I'm gonna leave it. However, I will say, you ever stop by Chicago, go to Portillo's. They put tomatoes on it. They put this green relish on it. They put a hot dog or a pickle spear on it. It's incredible, man. And the buns that they put them in are like these fucking poppy seed. Oh, okay. So I'm sorry to step on you, Carl. We're really hijacking this segment, Dave. I'm leaving it, but I love the idea of it.
It never even occurred to me in my life to put a pickle on a hot dog. I would say leave it, but I might eat it if you guys, sell it like that. Like this Portillo's place already.
Oh,
I've heard our friend of the show, Jeff Davis at Junkyard _Junkyard, talk about this Portillo's place. We got a lot of friends in Chicago
unreal.
who I want to go and visit at some point. So obviously I'm going to have to try this place if it's that good. But hell no, I don't want no pickle on my hot dog. I'll leave it.
All right. I'll take it. I'll eat the pickle on the hot dog. And Newbie, you about 30 seconds early. I do have the notes here for the Chicago hot dog, which is yellow mustard, onion, the neon green relish, a pickle spear, tomatoes, pickled sport peppers, which I think is a little bit of a tangy, zingy pepper.
It's
a little sprinkle of celery salt, and the poppy seed roll. It's fantastic.
You can actually, so they actually ship them. So if we have anybody Portillo's, they'll ship them. I actually got them during the pandemic. I got them shipped to my house. They teach you how to make them and everything. It's fucking incredible, man.
Okay. So, wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah, I know. We're on.
I don't even know what to say.
This is what they look like. That was me making them at home.
Shit.
That was me making them at home. Oh, we'll get that out on Twitter too for the folks.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we'll get that out on Twitter too. Maybe somebody over at Portillo's will set us up.
Now
for
we're
next week's show
talking.
or something. I don't know. There we go.
Talking.
All right,
we got two things. We got two things left here. I think this one's going to be a quick one, so we'll go around real quick on this. Spicy mustard. Absolutely, that's the number one topping for me on a hot dog is the spicy mustard.
Minus 9,000.
Yeah,
it's
minus
eat it.
9,000.
That's it.
Unequivocally, yes, 100% makes anything better. Spicy brown on a brat will change your life as well. So yes, spicy brown on anything.
All right. Good. Now we can get to the last one, the biggest bone of contention, which drove this segment in the first place. Onions on a hot dog. I'll go first on this one. Absolutely, 100%, unequivocally, yes. Onions go on a hot dog. I don't eat raw onions on almost anything, but absolutely on a hot dog. Dave, you can go last because I think I know your opinion, but I'm kind of interested in newbies.
It pairs so perfectly with the mystery meat that is in the hot dog. Everybody loves hot dogs, but nobody knows what the fuck they're made out of. Is it pork? Is it beef? Is it dog? Is it cat? We don't know, but we love them in America. So the thing is what goes better than just undiced warm onions that have been sitting out in a bowl all day long. I don't know why. I think it's because it's so fucking foul that it pairs so perfectly with it. Diced onions on a hot dog, hell yes. Another thing that I don't do all the time, I switch up my hot dog variety, but when the onions are sitting there at the ballpark, oh my God, I'm taking that nasty ass scoop and putting it on the dog for sure.
I don't even know what to fucking say. I thought I knew you too. I'm stuttering like but I hate onions. Number one, I can't stand them. Very rarely on a cheesesteak I will get the grilled onions.
You need to get onions on a steak.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But the thought of raw onions on a hot dog, and I see people do it all the time. There's no fucking way. You can leave it. I can't get this Portillo's thing out of my mind. Do you eat this thing with a fork and a knife?
No.
Or do you
It's
pick
fantastic.
that shit up?
Fucking deep throat that thing.
You
It
pick it up.
fucking goes to, it's done
Okay.
for.
All right.
It's done
Hey.
for.
Oh, I thought oral got eliminated last week, baby. What the fuck did you just talk about? Oh my God. Forget about the deep throat. All right.
Forget about that.
What the
All right,
hell
so
is even
the
that?
The last question, I want to go around real quick, 15 seconds each. What do you put on your dog? What's your perfect hot dog got on it? Newbie, go first.
All right.
Or I'll go first
you
because
go
I've already
first.
had time
You go
to think
first.
about this.
Yeah.
When I make the the hot dogs at home. I'm grilling them, and I'm grilling them until there's a nice char on the outside of the hot dog. I don't want to even think about the possibility of what's inside of this tube of meat that I'm going to eat. I just want to be positive that it's cooked very well done. And then it goes in a Martin's potato roll. I don't know if they're nationwide.
Yes.
But Newbie knows about them. The Martin's potato rolls is the softest, most delicate roll you can get. You slap that dog in there with, I started last year with a spicy pickle, a little bit of sriracha sauce, and the spicy mustard and the onions all day.
Wow.
It's the only way to eat them.
How do you follow that, Noobs? What do
That's
you got?
strong. I mean, mine's just nice and basic. Like I said, got to be
If you say ketchup, you're off the show.
natural casing hot dog. Natural casing is what I will always remind people. Natural casing, brown mustard on there. As he said, I already had written down Martin's potato roll. I'm supposed to hate this guy because he's in Boston. We have the same mind. It's sick.
Unbelievable.
So the thing is, you take that potato roll, you butter it a little bit, and you toast that bad boy on the grill, right on the grill. So it has a nice char, a nice crispiness.
Oh.
And then here's the thing: is they have this season or this. You can get it probably anywhere. It's like Big Mac sauce, basically. Drizzle the Big Mac sauce with the brown mustard. Best hot dog you'll ever eat in your life.
Okay. You know that's Thousand Island dressing, right?
Yeah, well, grab Thousand Island dressing and then boom, hit it. But now you just blew my mind.
Big Mac sauce, Thousand Island dressing. I was going to say it. Carl's already there. Just give me a goddamn dog. Put some sauerkraut on it, spicy mustard, drizzle some jalapenos in there. I'm good. I don't need much more than that. That's you got to have the brown mustard, spicy brown mustard. If you get one thing, that's the only thing you can have. It's spicy brown mustard for me. I can't eat it without it. I just have to have it. So, all right, good job with that, Carl. God damn, that was really good. We broke down. That was a baseball preview with hot dog discussion that I don't know how many other people you're going to get that on, but we don't give a shit. This is the show.
Woo! This is the show.
Now, pulling the goalie segment is 2 minutes. You only pull the goalie, although in the NHL now they fucking pull the goalie with 4 minutes to go. So, give me the wheel back. I heard it through the grapevine. Marvin Gaye heard it through the grapevine. The Penguins win in Boston for the first time, maybe ever. It feels like it this week. The Flyers lost to the Sabres. They were minus 190 on the road. Newbie's co-host Tyler is now he's the hockey guy on the show. He don't say much unless like I'm on the show. And then he starts talking. He's giving out flyers. He didn't even like the Flyers that night. They lost. The other takeaway that I had, the goddamn Avalanche were minus 480 versus the Ducks. Minus 480 in a hockey game? Carl, have you ever seen a line that big for a regular season anything, let alone an NHL game?
I can't remember. I'm trying to think. I'm sure there was a Jets game that probably was like that because the Jets have been horrible, but not in a hockey game.
Oh, no, that's the highest total I've ever seen in a hockey game. And they won 5-2, so they covered it. But, I mean, Newbie, the Flyers are going to make the playoffs?
Fuck no.
Okay.
Hell no. I mean, this team is. I said that when we did our first pulling the goalie segment on the show this year. I said I don't see how this happens because I want to be all behind Carter Hart, but the thing is with Philadelphia fans, they start just putting way too much stock into players before the players have done anything. And I'm guilty of it. You heard my love that I have for Carson Wentz, but at least he put in a year that got his team to the Super Bowl. So these people after 1 year were like acting like Carter Hart was fucking Bernie Perrant and like on a young kid like that.
It.
And like,
you said it, Bernie Perrant.
That's what I'm saying. He was the legend. He was the guy with the fucking Jason Voorhees mask. Like, I don't know. I feel like the fans really put this kid in a bad spot. And honestly, I mean, Giroux is way past his prime. They should have taken the C from the guy a long time ago. I like him.
Is Al Giroux on the team again? What are we talking about? We can't get away from this Al Giroux
ever. They're not making the playoffs. And I mean,
you said Claude Giroux. I thought you said Al Giroux.
You're always there. You're just always
what's
thinking,
going on?
What the hell is going on? But no, what's going on is the Flyers. Ever ever since that COVID situation, they have been the team that I feared they were going to be coming into the year. They're a bad hockey team. You lose to the Sabres the way that they did. You can't do that, man. You just can't do that.
Nope. All right, that's our 2-minute segment called Pulling the Goalie. Brother Doug is very, very excited. Not only did he beat cancer, but the Penguins beat the Bruins, and he likes to chirp at Pittsburgh Lion on the Twitter thing. God forbid if the Penguins play the Bruins in the playoffs, Carl, we might have to actually make a road trip because I think I got a guy who can get us into the games in Pittsburgh. If they're having fans, we might have to do a home and home. We got to get that in the budget.
We'll have to make that happen.
Yeah, we got to see if that happens. But yeah, Doug.
I have to say about Brother Doug, man. I mean, I knew that as the show started to grow that, you get on Twitter and you start getting these Twitter trolls that are going to start chirping at you and stuff. Boy. I had no idea that the one who was going to be chirping at me the most was going to be the brother of the host of the show.
It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
Just be ready. Yeah, he is the biggest homer that you could possibly find. They call Pittsburghers Yinzers. He is the Yinzer. I mean, he leads the charge. He wears the flag strong. Penguins are his team. So good luck with that. Swing it. Basketball. Before we get to our Mount Rushmore discussion, this will be quick as well. There's no better song in the NBA than the song, newbie. It's the Sixers song. We dance.
Ever since you mentioned the song earlier in the show, I've just had my finger. Like I feel like I got carpal tunnel just hovering over the button. I've been waiting to play this all day, baby. Play the damn song.
Play the song. And listen, the song it's
a phenomenon.
It's even better. It's even better than Sexual Healing.
It actually is.
Who again, Marvin Gaye. I mean, seriously, how do I do it? I don't know. I got them all, and it's better than Sexual Healing. What the Sixers are doing this basketball season? Are you kidding me? They come back from a successful road trip. They destroyed the Cleveland Cavaliers this week. That was fun. That's a way to finish that road trip up. Now they're home. The other takeaway I got from the NBA, I got a couple here. The fucking Nets are never going to lose again. Like, seriously, the fucking Brooklyn Nets win every goddamn day. And Durant is never playing again. This guy, Kevin Durant, was on the team. He's still on the team, but he ain't on the team. He don't show up. They win every game. He don't need to come back yet. That has to be the collision course for the NBA Finals, or for the Eastern Conference Finals. I want to see it. The NBA wants to see it. My God, if LaMarcus Aldridge goes to the goddamn Nets too, like, what are they trying to do? They're trying to set up the finals. But what they're not doing in the West is that the Denver Nuggets made that sneaky move and got Aaron Gordon. And now the Nuggets and the Utah Jazz, I believe, are the best teams in the West. And I can't wait to see what the LA teams do, because that guy LeBron, he ain't playing. AD is not playing. The Lakers keep dropping down in the Western Conference standings. They ain't going to be able to turn on no switch and beat, both the Nuggets and the Jazz, or the Nuggets and the Clippers, or whomever. Like, they got to have one series. Like, that's why that number one seed for the Sixers is so important. But news, all of that notwithstanding, our man Marvin would sing it, Sexual Healing, like, it's so good. Who in the hell is going to win the NBA MVP? Because Harden's out now.
Yeah,
like,
and that was the guy.
Playing the game.
And that was the guy. That was the guy.
It's got to be the Joker. It's got to be Jokic, right? Like, Jokic, Denver Nuggets made the move. They're going to get probably the 2 seed now. I would be as high as the 2 seed. Is he the guy? Is that the guy who you would bet for the win the NBA MVP? Or when is Joel coming back?
Well, Joel is coming back. Depending on when people listen, he might already be back. He's going to be back for that Timberwolves game, baby.
Ooh,
so Joel Embiid,
pattern, baby.
Well, I'm hoping that they, don't have him fucking running out there hurting his knee again. I will literally, I'll have to quit. I'll have to leave my job. I'll just to. I mean, I can't take another Joel Embiid injury, and I know it, and I know it, and I know it's coming. So I mean, it has to be the Joker, unless the people voting on it just, throw out the whole minute restrictions. They throw out the whole injuries and everything like that, because most people who were all on LeBron, then they saw the game that Embiid had against the Jazz, and then they diversified the portfolio. They put some futures on Embiid, then Embiid gets hurt, and then you say, well, it's got to be Harden. Then Harden gets hurt. So unless they take the injuries out of it, then I think all three of those guys that were, everybody and their grandmother was hammering, I think it has to be the Joker. I mean, maybe there's some other names in the mix. I mean, none that really.
Mitchell?
I don't see that.
Like,
maybe. Maybe if they
Dame time? Is it Dame time?
I mean,
Dame time,
I do love Dame time.
Who doesn't love Dame time?
You got to love Dame time.
Oh.
But I just don't think they're doing enough there. So I guess at this juncture it would have to be Jokic. But who knows? Maybe LeBron, he ends up coming back, has one hell of a second half. If Embiid can put out a couple more 40-10 games, because even after he was out for that long, he still lapsed the whole entire NBA on these 40 and 10 games. So, I mean, if he comes back and he's masterful, he can maybe get back in the conversation. But last thing that I have on the NBA before we throw it to Carl is Sixers without Embiid, 8-3 on that absence. I mean, that's... not even not bad. I mean, I was hoping they stay 500 on this little road trip. I mean,
good.
8-3. I'm loving it, man.
Yep. Carl, I'll give you one take on the NBA Celtics. Are we making the playoffs, or are we worried about what's going on in Boston, or what the hell? I mean, because, the Bruins are a little bit scuttling right now. The Red Sox, you clearly said, I mean, we're not even going to discuss them much past, Memorial Day. Celtics, we got what's going on there?
Yeah, I don't. What's going on again?
He can't stop it, man. He can't turn it off.
Jeez, can't stop, won't stop. I'm starting to be a little concerned that Brad Stevens is losing the team. It's something that you start wondering about. They've got talent. They've got two of the best young players in the league are on the same team. And for some reason, they just can't gel. Now, Kemba's a part-time guy. He plays 30 minutes every other night or something like that. That doesn't help. But they didn't go out at the trade deadline and make a big splash. And I think the reason they didn't go out and make a big splash is because Danny Ainge knows this team isn't going to win.
Right.
So are they going to make the playoffs? Yeah, they might have to be a play-in team, but they'll make the playoffs. They could even win a round, depending on what the matchup is. But that's as far as they're going.
Right.
And I was high on this team at the beginning of the year. I really thought they were going to go somewhere. But, no, I'm all hashtag anybody but the Nets right now.
God, I don't know. It's going to be magnanimous if it's Sixers and Nets. And I mean, we're going to have to talk to Norm. We're going to have to make a call. We're going to have to make a call to everybody we can. I think I want to go to a game. I think I got to get to a game in Philadelphia. It's going to be amazing. Doing the dance, listening to the song in person, baby. Oh, my God. We're going to have to bring one of the kids. They're going to have to shoot it on a video because my phone sucks. So one of the kids will have to use their good phone because, Alvarez, he keeps giving me shit about my picture taking with my phone. Kiss my ass, Alvarez. All right. So we're running a little bit long, but we're going to indulge ourselves because this is the show. This is the show.
It's the show.
And we got one more segment we got to discuss before we close it out with the Take a Minute segment. And it's the Mount Rushmore of your city. So you get one guy in each sport: NFL, MLB, NHL, NBA. Noobs, sometimes I do this, when we play games in the house, Kendall always gets to go first because she's the youngest. It's always says, let the youngest go first. I'm going to go to you first here for your Mount Rushmore of Philadelphia sports. That's a really hard one. There's a lot of history.
Well, and that's the thing is when I was formulating my Mount Rushmore, I know the Philly fans are just going to be like, dude, what the fuck? Because I was making it personal. You know what I mean?
It's always personal.
This is my personal Mount Rushmore because this is the show after all.
It's the show.
So for me, we'll start with the Birds because I'm a Birds guy through and through. They're my number one team at the top of the list. And for me,
NFL.
Brian Dawkins. I mean, I love the guy because here's the thing is a quote that always stuck with me from Brian Dawkins was that he went out and played every single game like he was a fan who got to suit up for one game. And in Philadelphia, that's what we pride ourselves on is Leave it out there on the fucking field. We're fine if we lose. We lose all the time. We're really good at it, to be honest. We're really good at getting to the end and not finishing. But if you put it all out there and put your heart and soul into the game, that's why I had to bat lead off with Brian Dawkins. Should have saved him for the last because he's my absolute favorite, but I couldn't. I love him that much. He's really probably my favorite athlete of all time. I got to meet him. He was everything I hoped he would be and more. I got to interview him, got to pick his mind, and he truly a football player through and through and a leader of men through and through. And that's what I look for in my athletes, which is why we pivot on over to the Sixers. You think I'm going to say trust the process and Joel Embiid, but no, it's the answer. I mean, come on. Pound for pound, maybe hot take here, best basketball player ever if you're going pound for pound. Now, he doesn't have the size, but he had the handles. I mean, he was absolutely...
For the people that don't know the question, who the answer was, like who's the Allen Iverson?
Allen Iverson, yeah. See,
Okay,
I'm just used to everybody knowing, AI.
That's just in case the wives of somebody listened to the show.
Yeah,
okay,
I got
it's Allen Iverson.
But people
listen to the show that don't know who the answer is. You know who the answer is, but like people don't know the answer.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Allen Iverson.
He's the answer to everything. But
Okay.
no, I know that people always like give me grief when I say that, but he was incredible to watch, and the team that made it to play the Lakers in the finals, they had no business being there. If Allen Iverson
he
wasn't
willed them there.
Yeah,
he carried them.
If he wasn't on that team. I mean, he was a 40-piece walkout on the floor. He didn't need any practice, just ball out, get the fresh cornrows, and ball out. Allen Iverson, will love the guy till I die. On the baseball side of things, you and I talked about this earlier this week in our A Look Inside the Book. You can find all those on Twitter as well. He's the man. Chase Utley, world fucking champs, baby.
Yes. Oh,
I love
Chase.
me some Chase Utley, and really, honestly, baseball fans really appreciate Chase Utley as long as he's not sliding into second and gashing people's legs and things like that. So, it depends who you're going to ask, but Chase Utley, my guy through and through. And on the hockey side of things, I know I'm supposed to go back in the time capsule and all that, but my favorite Flyer player ever, and it's not just because he shares my name, Danny Briere. The guy elevated his game anytime that the playoffs came around, and I'm sorry, Carl, but the goal that he had against the Bruins and that comeback when I was in high school, it's still like in my formative years. I mean, I love that guy. Another guy who I got to meet, who I got to interview, and you're always, when you meet your sports heroes, you're a little bit worried. He lived up to all of it, so that's my final. Danny Briere on the hockey side of things, my absolute favorite hockey player ever. Incredible guy, and good player, too.
That's tying it up right there, boys and girls. That was really, really good. We are about 1 minute, 20 seconds into the show, and all the over tickets can cash on the every week. Because he has not mentioned it. We know who he's going to mention in the football. I mean, we know it's already, it's we know Tom Brady.
Rightfully so.
It's on the Mount Rushmore up there at, Haskell Manor. So, he is our Batman. Newbie is the Aquaman. And, I go the Superman. We're kind of the super friends. That's the theme that I coined us all. But we know, I mean, I can see his picture behind you. Like, we know who it is. So, cash all of the over tickets. Carl, you got a picture of somebody up there. You got a lot of good guys to pick from, though.
Yeah.
So who is your Mount Rushmore of Boston athletes?
Yeah. So, we'll get the obvious one out of the way first. It's obviously Brady, but for the Patriots. But to get a second guy up there, I got to go because Brady's obvious. Julian Edelman is just amazing to me.
Agreed.
Wow.
This guy,
Okay.
he's like, I swear he's 5'2". I know he's not, but he's this little guy who gets the shit beat out of him every single game, bounces up. That game he had against the Falcons in the Super Bowl when he got practically knocked out, and just unbelievable. But of course, it's Brady. The other obvious one, I think, is for the Celtics. It's obviously Larry. I mean, he just was. Until Brady came along, this would have been, if Brady never came along, Larry would have been my answer for everything, for all of these questions, because he was just in high school, watching this guy, he was just incredible. For the Bruins, it's Cam Neely. Cam Neely was a guy who could, take you in the corner and beat the ever-living piss out of you and then score a finesse goal 30
Yep.
seconds later on the same shift. 1994, he scored 50 goals in 44 games, which
Amazing.
was unbelievable because of that MFer that hurt his leg the year before that.
Yeah.
And then
Wait, are we getting bleeped? Who
yeah,
was it?
I think I did call him that motherfucker like 5
There
times.
we go. Don't
Right?
hesitate. Let it go.
Well, I didn't know if we were going to be on PBS sometime or anything
No,
like
not
that.
yet.
So,
Not yet.
All
That
right,
ship
good.
has sailed.
Yeah. And then for the Red Sox, there were a
This
lot
is
to
hard.
choose from. It
Holy
is
shit.
hard.
Yeah.
I
Red
said
Sox.
I feel
something.
like Boston's hard, man.
Yeah. I said, it might be fun for us to do our favorites in each other's cities.
I like
Oh,
that.
that's
We can do
that's
that.
we're put that on the list.
Yeah,
I
that'll be
already
great.
I've got them all.
Yeah.
I have one for each one of you.
Yeah.
Good. Yep.
So,
put that on the list.
For the Red Sox, Ortiz was amazing to watch, and every time he was coming up, it was unbelievable. And
Yeah.
Pedroia, I said a couple weeks ago, was one of my favorite players. But the guy who I watched, who just electrified the entire city every 5 days, was Pedro Martinez. The guy was just another little guy. I mean, he's not the biggest guy. I think he was 180 pounds soaking wet. But the way that he pitched, and he just electrified the entire city every 5 days. It was incredible to watch him for as long as we got to. Briefly, it was only 6 or 7 years, but he was just amazing to watch, and absolutely my favorite guy on the Sox.
Fantastic list. My God, if I have to make a list of Boston guys or Philly guys, like it's gonna be hard. Like you guys have, I mean, it's just so many guys. And I don't know if I'm like maybe biased or not biased, but like I made the list personal too. And obviously the list starts where I'll go football, baseball, NHL, and then my NBA, which is going to be kind of awkward, but you'll get it. My NFL guy is Jack Ham. Jack Ham was a Hall of Fame linebacker for the Steelers during the glory years. And he wasn't the flashy guy. He wasn't the name guy, but he was my next door neighbor for 7 years. And that was included the back end of the 2 Super Bowl wins. He got hurt. Jack had no kids. So guess who his kids were? Me, Brother Dan, and Brother Doug. And I have some great childhood memories of shooting hoops with Jack Ham in my backyard. I have two of the greatest memories are when he came home from practice and knocked on the door and said, "Hey guys, go get your football." We came outside and Bradshaw was out there. He said, "Go run out for a pass." Terry Bradshaw threw us all a pass. 2 weeks later, he knocked on the door. "Hey guys, go get your football." We're like, "Oh my God, Jackson, Mr. Hamster. We go out. Lynn Swan's out there. Throw Lynn a pass. Oh, okay. So that was a little bit, I got to watch him play, but then we got to like hang out and shoot hoops, and he was, he'd come out and throw his passes and stuff. It was amazing. Ended up going to Penn State, all kind of things. So Jack Ham for me. Baseball, Dave Parker. Dave Parker was the first guy, 1979 Pirates have a special place in my heart because it was the first team that I played baseball. I hadn't been starting to play football yet, but everybody was a Steeler fan. The Pirates won the World Series in 1979. Dave Parker was on that team. Dave Parker had an amazing arm. When you went to the Pirate games, they played the Cobra music. All of us held our hands up and tried to act like the Cobra, and he was my guy. But one of the greatest quotes ever that I realized later that I must have missed when I was a little kid was Dave Parker wore a Star of David around his neck. And one of the reporters asked him, "Why are you wearing a Star of David?" And he said, "Because my name is David and I'm a star." Are you fucking kidding me? I want to wear the Star of David right there. That is the coolest thing ever.
Fucking awesome.
So, I mean, come on. Like, that's my guy. Now, NHL, Mario Lemieux. I mean,
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of lucky, my dad, the Big E, found a way to get us season tickets the year before they drafted Mario Lemieux. I saw some of the worst hockey. I used to shoot hockey. I shot in between periods at the Penguin games. I hung out, at the rink. So I got to know a lot of the ushers, and like that's where my dad would drop me and my brothers off. We saw a lot of hockey. Then Lemieux came, and we were like, this guy looks different. Like everything's different. Oh my God. He got the shit kicked out of him for 6 years. Didn't have any protection. A guy named Gary Rissling was one of the enforcers. He was like 5'6". He was a tough mother, but he was not like Semenko protecting Gretzky. So I got to watch Lemieux play, and he was to me, he's still the greatest hockey player that ever lived. He was as good or better than Gretzky. He just didn't have the weapons that Gretzky did to put up the numbers, but he was amazing. So my backups for that are all the French Canadian guys like Danny Briere. I loved Pierre LaRouche was my first love of all time. For hockey fans, go back and look. He signed my first hockey card, and he helped tie my skates at one of my games because he was there helping out, drills and stuff. So Michel Dion was a goalie. John Chabot was a third-line center who was he skated like Dorothy Hamill. He was unbelievable. But then the other guy was Kevin Stevens. Kevin Stevens was a Boston guy who changed the culture. He changed everything in Pittsburgh, and he was amazing. And he was my guy. Everybody wanted to be Kevin Stevens because he was our Cam Neely. He did everything that Cam Neely did. He could skate, he could score, and he could kick your ass. My NBA guy is interesting because we didn't have an NBA team. So my NBA guy is Moses Guthrie. And if you guys don't know who Moses Guthrie is, that is Dr. J from the Fish That Saved Pittsburgh. Are you kidding me? The Pittsburgh Pisces was the Pittsburgh team. If you don't know what the movie Fish That Saved Pittsburgh is, do yourself a goddamn favor and go watch the Fish That Saved Pittsburgh, because Dr. J was my guy because he was Moses Guthrie before he was Dr. J in my mind. I mean, there was Set Shot, this little short white dude that, he shot it like this. He made all the shots. There was a Chic. He wore the Chic thing as he took the ball to the hole, and Meadowlark Lemon was the other guy who dished the ball out. So the Fish That Saved Pittsburgh, Moses Guthrie, Dr. J, that was my NBA guy.
Wow.
That is the Mount Rushmore segment of the show. So, all right, that's going to do it for everything but the Take a Minute. Now, we've taken 90 minutes up to this point of your time. Thank you all for listening.
We love you.
But, yes, absolutely. And shout out to all the boys that I do shows with. I got a guy, Dave Martinez, man. He is killing it every night with me on Sports Grid at Sirius XM 204. All the boys, Ben Stevens, Mike Blewett, my boy Keith Aziri. I'm going to be on a show on Sunday on Sirius, Easter Sunday. They need a guest. Well, who are you going to call? Call to Consig. He always answers the fucking phone. I do. I'm going to be on the show Sunday on there. Keith Aziri, Holden Kushner, and Scott Wetzel. Those are the guys on the Late Show. Kevin and Donnie killing it. Gabe and Cam, all of the boys. Shout out to all of them for helping me continue to learn this business and get better, as well as everything we do newbie on Thursdays. And Carl's like the goddamn best goddamn producer in the planet. He sends us the rundown. I mean, we just got to turn the mics on and do it. He's the rundown tremendous. But we got to do Take a Minute, boys. So I believe it's Carl's week to lead off this week, right? I think it is. Okay. Oh, no. Newbie was Peeps last week. Yeah. Yeah.
Newbie Peeps.
So Newbie Peeps last week. If you didn't go back and listen to the show, go back and listen to the show, because Newbie was 100% right. Peeps suck. Happy Easter to everybody. Enjoy your Easter basket on Sunday. I hope you don't get no Peeps, because Peeps is terrible.
Garbage.
Terrible.
Garbage.
Newbie, ain't no Peeps this week, but, what's it called? Let's Get It On. Another one.
Check all his references.
Let's Get It On. Marvin Gaye would sing it. You start it. You got 1 minute. It starts right now. 3, 2, 1.
So Carl, much like me, loves craft beer. And I've really enjoyed getting into it, but there's this contingent of craft beer snobs that every now and then, when I'm at a cookout or something like that, I'll throw back some Miller Lite or a beer that's a day drinking beer, and then you always have that one fucking hipster, and I'm the one who looks like the hipster, with the man bun and everything. You would you would think that I'm the douchebag that's what, you're drinking Miller, but they have to ruin everything. If you're drinking all day long and you're drinking 7% IPAs, you're going to have a bad time. If you're just hanging out and you're just, relaxing, just throwing back some beers, like day drinking, you got to go with a light beer. Not every beer has to be a double dry hop monkey jizz IPA, and that's the way that they do it. So, like, craft beer snobs, I'm a craft beer guy through and through, but stop fucking shaming other people's beers. I have one thing for you craft beer snobs, and that is...
Shut the fuck up.
And that is my take a minute.
Ooh,
There's nothing
that's
wrong with
the
Miller
mark
Lite.
right
There's
there.
nothing wrong with Miller Lite, man. Nothing wrong with it.
What about Yingling?
Oh.
Yingling's good.
Yeah, Yingling's all right. I don't dislike Yingling. I'm supposed to love it because it's like 45 minutes from my house where they brew it. It's all right. It's not bad.
All right. Okay. Yingling's a big fan of Yingling.
Oh
You
yeah.
gotta get Yingling.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, when
Well
I get
done.
out there, Newbie, keep me away from the monkey jizz beer.
Yeah.
whatever the hell that was.
I
I'll
won't
take
send
a
that
pass
one
on
to
that
you.
one.
Yeah, the next time the
I'll take a pass
Sixers
on that.
lose to the Celtics, I won't send that one to you. Don't worry.
All right.
Oh,
thanks.
God.
Thank you.
All right. So I don't know how many more times I got left here, but I mean, ain't that peculiar? I mean, that is another
Son of a
all-timer,
bitch.
Marvin Gaye. But listen, we got Carl Haskell at Carl Haskell, who came with it last week. We found gold, for God's sakes. He used to tease a girl to the point where she
Jenny
went
Thompson.
won the most gold medals. Are you kidding me? What a story that was.
Spike
I don't
gold
know
medal.
how you follow it up. I don't know, but you have to. And your Take a Minute segment.
Oh wait,
Carl
don't
Haskell.
start yet. Don't start it yet. Hold on. I hold on. Just give me 1 second.
Okay. So
I
now
got
I
a
got to.
little wardrobe.
Oh, okay. All right. We're
Literally
gonna fill
changing his
time.
fucking clothes.
Look at
What
this.
is he
Whoa.
got? He's got an
He's
Andy
got a
Reid
fucking wardrobe.
Hawaiian shirt on.
Holy
Here we go.
shit. Carl Haskell has changed into a Hawaiian shirt with palm trees and shit. Look at this. So now his headset is back on.
The first
He is
ever
in the
wardrobe
chair.
change in
In
cash considerations
Cash Considerations
history.
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 Yes.
The segment starts in the new palm tree shirt
He looks amazing.
in 3, 2, 1.
All right. So I don't usually do the Facebook thing. I've got an account, and once in a while I'll go in and check stuff out. But my son texted me the other day and said, "Hey, you got to see what Dave said." And Dave is my buddy Jaws that I went and watched the Super Bowl with. My buddy
Jaws.
Dave.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Josh.
looks
He
like
looks this guy.
Jaworski, right?
Right. For the people that don't know, Carl has a friend named Dave who looks like Ron Jaworski, like exactly
Yeah.
like Ron
Yep.
Jaworski. So go ahead,
Yep.
continue.
And
Sir.
he,
Sorry.
once in a while, he'll post these irreverent things on his page. And he posted last night, he said, name 3 bands, and the 3 of us have never talked about music, and that might be something that we can get into some point down the road, but we've never talked about music. He said, post 3 bands or artists that you're sick and tired of and never want to hear again. Now, I responded first, and I said, well, Nirvana and the Chili Peppers and Nirvana again. But the real issue I had is that he posted his 3, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because we've got the medium here where if you've got the power, use the power.
Absolutely.
So Dave, this is for you. Dave picked his 3 artists were Jethro Tull, Dave Matthews, and then the one he doesn't want to hear any more of was Jimmy Buffett. And Dave, I've known you for a very long time, but you're wrong. You are wrong. I have seen Jimmy Buffett 15 times.
For real?
I've seen him for real. I've seen him at Great Woods in Boston. I've seen him in Hartford, Connecticut. I've seen him at the Boston Garden. And the last time I saw him was on June 20th, 2013, when he played a small benefit concert for the marathon victims, the marathon bombing victims.
Wow.
In front of a crowd of only 900 people, and it was amazing. I am a huge Parrot head. I love the atmosphere. I love the music. I love the party. And Dave, you're wrong. That's
wrong.
my minute.
There you go. Dave looked like Jaws. You're 100% wrong. Carl said so. At Carl Haskell right there. Take a minute.
Whew.
Take like those 3 bands out. Nirvana, dead to me. That's it. Never again. I will never listen to them again. I don't even like Nirvana. So
Perfect.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Like Pap says, I'm with you, but I ain't with you. He says that all the time, maybe 10 to 15 times a day is maybe the over-under. Speaking of Pap, I'm going to get to him in 1 second. My Take a Minute segment is going to start. Oh, wait, before I go there, ain't that peculiar? That's another. Just another. I had to get it one more in. I got them all. That's it. I got no more left. All the bullets are fired. That's it. Marvin Gaye, ain't that peculiar? All right. 3, 2, 1. I always start the segment, take a minute, with something. Maybe I just want to, again, thank everyone for listening to the show. This is the show, and it's going to continue to be the show. Thank you guys for all the feedback. The cash considerations crew is growing every day. And again, we got more people listening. We got more people following. The Twitter handle's growing. We're going to change some things up with, add some social media things. We're going to do a lot of things. There's stuff's coming. Reach out, DM us, DM the show. Taking a lot of calls, a lot of questions. We got people asking us to be on the show. It's the latest little twist. We're going to have guests again here and there, but this is the show. So thank you for indulging us in doing that. It's nothing but thanks and gratitude. The show is about sports, gambling, life, and family. And that's kind of what we do here. So thank you for listening. Thank you for, spreading it. And, I don't know where it's going to go, but it's going to be a hell of a ride. It's going to be fun. I am in the process of moving. So in addition to all of you that are listening to the show, I want to thank Grandma and Papa in this house. We're moving to a new house. They're helping and do a ton because I'm doing shows pretty much every day. Anyone that, turns a mic on and will, get me on, I'm saying yes to. So been busy with that. My 3 girls, Kylie, Kelsey, and Kendall, kids are doing a great job, and they're horses. They're moving all the shit. I've actually become the director. I'm not the laborer. It's kind of nice. Move that shit, put it in the truck, get it going. It's great. I love it. And I love all 3 of them dearly. They saved my life. I will tell that story. Week 2, it's available on YouTube. I'll tell it again, probably at least 1,000 times more in my life. Be glad to do it. And of course, Mrs. Kinsig, my wife, Jessica, she don't listen to the show, but I have to thank her because she might listen to the show after someone tells her, oh, Dave talked about you on the show. So Jess, if you're listening, thank you for allowing us to do the show, even on a Friday night, on a Saturday morning, even late night, some nights on a Thursday. We get together every single week and do this show. So that's what we do. Everyone in this house has an opinion, and they all like to give it. I will leave you guys with this. We don't give picks on the shows, right, Newbie? Like we talked about that a couple weeks ago on our Take a Minute. We're not a pick show, but we will give you our opinion. Mm-hmm. Everyone in this house gives me their opinion. They're members of the 2020 club. They usually give it to me after, when all the vision is 2020. But my Take a Minute segment is going to end with this. Pap, who doesn't give out plays. He don't even watch a lot of sports. He watches golf. Told me Jordan Spieth is going to win the golf this weekend. That if you have a ticket on Jordan Spieth, Pap been smoking. And I'm just letting y'all know, if you don't, you probably should get one because Spieth is live. The other thing that Pap told me before the tournament, I put it on Twitter. I don't know if I said it on the show. Gonzaga is going to win it all. He did say that to me. He texted me, and now Pap asked about the Twitter. How do I get the Twitter? Pap, Twitter is not for you. You don't need Twitter. I will tweet your picks. But Pap and Kendall both picked the Zags, and that's what's going to happen Monday night. Woo! That is the show. That is the picks, and that is the cash consideration show for the boys. Let's wrap it up. Thank you all for listening. Newbie Talks at Newbie Talks, Dan Newbert, and Carl Haskell at Carl Haskell. Both of these boys co-hosts. Carl's the social media manager. Newbie's the executive producer of the show. I am Dave Sharapan, the sportsbook consigliere at SportsBK Consig. Thank you, boys, for listening. Girls, too. We'll see you guys next week. Go Zags!